Hello, companions. I am the Traveler. Today we're going on a journey to Never Never Land. Pack lightly because we have a lot of ground to cover. It is important to note that the location of Never Never Land is uncertain, but it is generally stated that it can be reached in three ways. First, it can be reached by children as they fall asleep, hovering on the edge of slumber. It can also be reached by baby boys who fall out of their strollers while their nurses aren't looking, in which case, if they are not found within a week, they are claimed by Never Never Land and become lost boys. Why lost boys, you may ask? Well, the consensus is that girls are too intelligent to fall out of their strollers in the first place. Third and finally, a traveler can be taken to Never Never Land by Peter Pan himself. I am not at liberty to discuss how I've traveled to this place. Peter Pan is a curious character indeed. He seems to have been able to maintain his youth by sheer will. According to him, he ran away on the day he was born. The only girl known to have visited Never Never Land is Wendy Darling, who was asked to travel here to serve as a maternal figure for the lost boys. Never Never Land has generally been conceived to consist of a small island within a lagoon. The passage of time here is ambiguous, but whenever I travel here, the time of my arrival coincides with the sunrise. This phenomenon seems to be consistent with all travelers to this place. That said, in no particular order, there are 7 locations of distinct interest in Never Never Land. Number 1, Crocodile Island. Number 2, Mermaid's Rock. Number 3, Captain Hook's Harbor. Number 4, the Lost Boys' House. Number 5, Pickaninny Village. Number 6, the Wild Woods. And number 7, the Never Peak Mountains. We will be approaching the lagoon from the southwest by sea, keeping very careful not to run aground as we weave our way through the reefs, shallows, and small islands on our approach to our first destination, Crocodile Island. We will disembark here briefly, but we must be aware that Never Never Land is home to a vast array of man-eating predators, including bears, lions, tigers, wolves, and as you might have imagined, crocodiles. For this reason, we will arm ourselves for this journey. We won't stay here long, but while we're here, we need to be extremely wary of the crocodiles. I must emphasize the danger here. The water's edge is the most perilous location, as the ferocious reptiles disguise themselves in the shallows. Measuring up to 20 feet long, these beasts can launch themselves within a small fraction of a second, and if they are able to grab you with their bone-crushing vice-like grip, they will roll, thrash, and slice you to your doom. From here we will travel northwest across the lagoon towards Mermaid's Rock. Here, among the reefs and coral caves, we will find the homes of the mermaids. These are beautiful but malicious, unfriendly, and even hostile creatures. We will therefore keep our distance. If we are lucky, we may be able to view them as they luxuriate upon the rocks. If we happen to arrive after a rainstorm, we may see them play a version of soccer where bubbles are used as balls and goals are located at either end of the rainbow. The rules dictate that players strike these bubbles with their tails and that only the goalkeepers may use their hands. We once again need to proceed with caution as we travel back east across the lagoon into Captain Hook's Harbor, as hostile pirates have been known to anchor their ships here. These pirates were known for kidnapping innocent people and making them walk the plank. Most notably, Captain Hook, for whom the harbor is named, was known to frequent these waters. Peter Pan, having severed the captain's hand, fed it to a giant crocodile who, finding it most delectable, pursued the captain in an attempt to consume the rest of him. The crocodile's task was complicated by the fact that he had at one time swallowed an alarm clock, the sound of which alerted Captain Hook of his approach. Nevertheless, the crocodile would swallow the captain whole after his defeat at the hands of Peter Pan. This pirate ship looks to be abandoned, and there don't seem to be any pirates around. We can therefore disembark and from the north side of the harbor will head directly to the Pickaninny village. Here, the Pickaninny tribe once resided. These warriors adorned themselves with paint, carried knives and tomahawks, were generally hostile, and have been known to take scalps. This tribe of warriors were enemies of the Lost Boys until Tiger Lily, the daughter of their chief, Great Big Little Panther, was rescued by Peter Pan. It would seem that this village is currently abandoned. By now, you surely will have noticed the lofty mountain centrally located in the middle of the island east of the village. This is our next destination. A half-day's trek will bring us to its foothills, where we'll set up camp in preparation for tomorrow's hike. I will kindle a fire and take first watch. We will continue at dawn. These mountains are lofty, but there are well-trod paths to the summit. At a moderate pace, it will take most of the day to reach the peak. We will need to keep our eyes and ears peeled for hostile wildlife on the way up. It's been a long day's hike, but we are now rewarded on the summit as we can take in the breathtaking natural beauty of the island. Looking west, we can see the canopy of the vast wild woods beneath us. Fairies live in nests in the treetops of the wild woods. The fairies shine and sparkle, creating natural light for their nests when they are awake. This makes for a fantastic light show, which is visible from the mountain tops after sunset. It is said that a fairy is born every time a newborn baby laughs, and a fairy dies every time a child says that they don't believe in fairies anymore. Unfortunately, the average life of a fairy is little more than a year. In the morning, we will descend the western side of the mountain and travel south between its western foothills and the edge of the wild wood toward our final destination, the Lost Boys' house. The Lost Boys' house is located underground and can be entered through any of 7 hollow trees. The house consists of a single large room. In the middle of this room stands a never tree, which is cut down to the level of the floor daily, and by tea time has grown back to the level of the table. After tea time, it is cut back down to floor level in order to provide more room for fun and games. The boys are able to fish through holes they dig in the floor. They sleep collectively in one large bed which is folded against the wall during the day and is unfolded promptly at 6:30 p.m. The Lost Boys are known to dress in the skins of bears that they themselves have killed. Their diet consists of pork, bananas, breadfruit, yams, and coconuts, and they enjoy drinking the juice of the calabash and pawpaw fruits. This concludes our trip to Never Never Land. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Give a thumbs up and tell me where you'd like to go next. Until next time, companions, safe travels.